and welcome to MasterCard Priceless Questions with moi, Becca. Before we start doing anything, I want to encourage you all to follow us on all our social media platforms. It is MasterCard MEA, that is both on Instagram and Twitter, and you can also watch us on Priceless.com. Today, I'm excited. I'm really happy to be here today because I have an amazing person with me. This is just not an ordinary person. This is my friend, my very good friend. He owns one of the top bespoke boutique catering services right here in GH, which is Ghana. So, without further ado, Fred Apaloo, are you there?
Hi Becca, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Fred. Woo, it's been a long time. Have I missed you?
Good to be here. I'm excited to be a part of this Priceless experience by MasterCard, and I'm extremely, of course, honored.
What are you cooking for us today? I have a lot of questions for you because the viewers are asking so many questions, but what are you cooking for us today?
I'm keeping it very simple. I'm trying to, make sure that we're doing things that we have in our pantries, that this is very relatable, and nice and easy and simple. So we're going to make a lobster basil and tomato pasta. I'm going to throw in a bit of cream because cream makes everything better. And it's going to be very, very simple, easy to make. Everybody can follow along. Everybody can make this. And you can use it to impress your family or your loved ones or, anything like that.
Yeah, because I'm looking at impressing some people, so.
Well, I got you. I got you.
Can I shoot a question right now while you start?
You can shoot me the questions. I'm going to start and I'm going to try and walk you through it while I do it.
Please do.
And so answer your questions. I'm going to do a lot of multitasking.
Yes.
First thing we're going to do is olive oil, pure virgin olive oil in your hot pan, okay? Not too much, just a good little glaze in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter as well. Lurpak, I love Lurpak. Just because butter also gives it that extra, Butter makes everything, you know what I mean. I don't have to explain my relationship with butter, but a little bit of butter, not so much, okay? Let that get in there as well. It's gonna start sizzling and melting away, okay? You can see the little sizzle in the pan.
And smell that. Oof.
Yeah, that smells good.
Right.
Butter and olive oil. And while this is happening, I'm also gonna toss in some onions. Not too much. Okay, finely chopped onions, and some thinly sliced garlic. Now I like loads of garlic in pasta because I feel like it just gives, it awakens.
Me too, yeah, and I love pasta sauce.
I feel like it awakens all the Italian senses. So I like a good, Okay, so we're gonna put that all in there and let that kind of do its thing and sizzle. And then I'm gonna cover it. So while I've covered it, we can do a little bit of Q&A. Just let that kind of slowly build some flavor. Let that, let a marriage occur between the butter, the onions, and the garlic. So I'll take your first question while that happens.
I have a lot of questions for you because the viewers are asking so many questions. The first question is for Fred. And Fred, I would like to ask you, Fred, what inspires his kind of setup, because he inspires me a lot in the culinary world.
Generally, I'm inspired by the places that I travel to, the food that I eat, the people that I meet. How we decide what creative concept we're using for the events is basically by the client consultation. There could be someone who will tell you, oh, we want an event that makes us feel like we're, having a summer in Italy with lemons and, things like that. Or we want a Japanese-inspired cherry blossom festival. I'm inspired by what the client has to say and then everything that I see through my experience. I'm very attentive.
That's amazing. Is that sizzling?
Slowly. This is very.
So how long is it going to cook for?
This is very low. So it's slowly starting to infuse. I want that to be a very slow and good. Italian cooking, it takes a while sometimes, right?
It does, yes.
It's all about building and slow infusions because it's very simple.
So our next question is it's a priceless question from Edinkra Hine, Ghana. He's also based here in Ghana. And he speaks about pancakes. I love pancakes. He said, what other meal complements pancakes? Can I make a healthy pancake?
Edinkra, thank you for your question. Everybody loves pancakes. Pancakes are universal. Pancakes are made differently everywhere. So Ghanaians make pancakes more like crepes, kind of, right? The Ghanaian pancake is kind of very, very thin. It almost can be likened to that of a crepe, but maybe a bit thicker. I like American style pancakes, so fluffy, thick pancakes is what I like. I also tend to sometimes use a formula for pancake to make what you call blinis. And blinis are very good for canapes and hors d'oeuvres, and I usually serve those with smoked salmon. And so I find that when I make a little sauce with some fresh yogurt and olive oil and dill, a bit of paprika, and then I put that on the blini and put some smoked salmon, and it's fantastic. But it's almost a pancake. I mean, it's, except it's a neutral pancake, so I don't have sugar in there.
Salmon.
American pancakes are the way to go. Slap on some heavy cream, slap on some strawberries, raspberries,
or raspberries,
all the works.
Gosh, yes.
With some bacon on the side, and then that's like when you know that, that's it. So I'm gonna bring you in here for a quick second, Becca, because now you're getting that sizzle and all that smoke. Can you hear the sizzle?
I can hear the sizzle. Oh.
Can you smell from here? Oh, it's so good.
I wish I could smell it, but yeah, I can smell it somehow.
So good, so good. And you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm going to actually just throw in a little tiny sprinkle of some oregano, just a little bit. We'll bring some more in later. But right now I'm gonna do just a little bit, just to get that onion and garlic building some sort of Italian pancake.
I like what you did to your hand. Like you just went like, is that a chef move or something?
I think it's just a Fred move. It's a swag Fred move. Okay? Okay.
I tried that, but I always oversalt my food trying that.
It's okay. You'll get better at it if you keep practicing. So now, I'll take the next question while this finishes its sizzle, and then we'll go in with our fresh tomatoes.
We have another MasterCard Priceless question from someone right here in Accra as well, in Ghana. And the person said, Chef Fred, have you had any setbacks? And if so, how can he be able to successfully handle or resolve these setbacks from damaging his brand?
Have I ever had any setbacks? I think that a business, any successful business, isn't really successful, to me anyway, unless you've had some setbacks that you've been able to overcome. Okay? And setbacks could be in many different ways. That can kind of, validate a setback. And it's really individualized to what one individual or company thinks a setback is. Okay? For me, I think that a lot of my setbacks or struggles have been with staffing and competency. I think that I've in some instances stumbled across staff that were a bit incompetent, and that sometimes has shown on the front line where the customer may or may not have been too pleased with different situations. It hasn't happened often, but those are things I can think about. It's more with it's an in-house problem of making sure that we're building the right team of staff who represent all the values, the core values and principles of the company as it relates to the customer on the outside world. So I had to kind of invest in myself financially with my savings. I had moved back from the States. I had to do all of that. And in terms of where I am now, obviously the master plan, God does the master plan, I believe in him. But I think I could have been a lot more advanced had I not been financially set back. But I trust the process. And in hindsight, today, I'm thankful that things went the way they went because it's my journey to tell now, and I'm very proud of it. And I'm glad that I did it by myself. And we're gonna now go in with some freshly chopped and blended tomatoes. If you get in here, you'll see that we have a bit of a caramelized look. The onions have caramelized, the garlic has caramelized, and we're gonna slowly pour in some freshly chopped tomatoes, nice and thick. I like it a little chunky. Okay.
Okay.
I won't use all of it. I'll leave it. This is a lot, so I won't use all of it. Okay. But once that goes in, we're just gonna do this. Give it a nice stir.
Yeah.
Ooh, even the smell of the fresh tomatoes is really something. Even the smell of the fresh tomatoes is really something. I'm gonna let that now slowly simmer for a little bit. Okay? And while that simmers, let's chat.
I'm staring at you because I know you, Fred, right? But I'm astonished right now. And I must say a huge thank you to MasterCard again. These priceless questions are amazing. It's given me an opportunity to even know my friend better. So thank you again, MasterCard. And is that sizzling? I can even tell from here.
We've got a good sizzle. The smell is amazing, very amazing. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna salt it a bit. Okay? So now we're gonna put a bit of salt in. Just some regular, yes, a bit of salt. Okay? We're gonna salt it a bit now. Not too much.
Okay.
And then as we salt it, we're also gonna put a bit of brown sugar in it. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna tone down the acidic levels and bring out the sweeter tones in the tomatoes. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay?
Is that brown sugar or just normal brown sugar?
This is like nice fine cane brown sugar. Locally made, support the locals, always fresh. We try to do as much farm to table as we can. So this is locally made, okay, made in Ghana. And we're gonna let that all kind of marry. So I give it a good stir. And at this point, I'm also going to do a little bit more of oregano. But this time I'm gonna be, this I did, but now I put it in just to kind of infuse with the garlic and the onions. Now I'm putting in quite a bit so we can infuse with the tomatoes.
Oh.
Right.
That's interesting.
Okay, so now we do that with the oregano. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells absolutely fantastic.
I do have more questions for you. We have a question from another MasterCard card holder. And Nata came back again. She wanted to know, as a culinary prodigy, would Fred Apaloo consider Ghana as a culinary hotspot in Africa? If yes, why? If no, why?
I think that Ghana is well on its way to being a culinary hotspot.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that we're there yet, but I think that we're on the way. I think that we have a lot of good local talent, and we have a lot of good talent amongst ourselves that are now trying to rediscover like what we have on our soil. And we have a lot of caterers who are now more interested in understanding farm to table, where the food is coming from, what we have, a lot of our natural grains. I have there's a colleague of mine, Chef Binta. She's fantastic with going into farms, and she has a concept called Dine on the Mat, and it's all about heritage foods, like heritage nourishing food, millet and maize and all the things that we grow in the north, and how to bring them to the forefront and the limelight, all the grains, So we have an advantage now in being able to propel our culinary status globally,
right,
or even on the continent, because we have all these superfoods that we're now rediscovering. And we're rediscovering them now with new purpose and new meaning. And so we're being more intentional with how we're cooking them. We're being more intentional with how we're presenting them, because of course you eat with your eyes first. We're being more intentional with how we're marketing them, how we're talking about them, how we're growing them and nurturing them. And so I think we're well on our way to putting ourselves on the map as leading in Africa. For me right now, I think South Africa has a good, vibrant culinary scene.
I was just going to ask you which country you actually think is vibrant, in the culinary pursuit.
Of what I've visited, anyway, I think South Africa is buzzing. And on that note, I'm going to be a little bit risque. I'm going to open this now, okay?
Yes.
And I'm going to, for the heck of it, just because we're talking about this, I'm going to throw in some local chilies. The local chilies here we call pakoshito. Are very
green and smells so good.
Very flavorful. And because of this question, I'm going to put some in there, because every Ghanaian,
Please do.
It's a must in a Ghanaian household.
Show them where you come from.
I'm gonna throw it in. I'm gonna throw it in just because we're talking about it. So you know what?
That looks good.
Italian meets Ghanaian. That's what's gonna happen here. We're gonna throw in some pakoshito, which only in Ghana will you find these Scotch bonnets that are, the smell. They're so flavorful. Oh, the smell, the aroma alone that it's bringing right now, just by those little chilies, is something else.
You just added some Ghanaian in there.
Yes, your question did it. Your question did it for me. So I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in this pan. I keep saying a little bit, but I keep really taking chunks of butter. But butter makes everything better, so. And I'll just leave it to slowly, no pressure. Slowly let it just, dissolve, and we'll put the lobster in there and kind of cook it down. and then we'll finish this, and then we'll make the main dish in this pot. Okay, I'm ready for your next question.
You're ready?
Yeah, this is going to become brown. It's almost becoming brown. I'm ready for your next question.
MasterCard Priceless question. And it is from the Foodie Trotter. Okay. And they're asking, your dishes are visually stunning and taste really good. Do tell me how you have been able to set as well as maintain such a high standard of yourself and your brand.
Foodie Trotter, thank you for that question. For me, quality and attention to detail are two things that I cannot compromise on. It's everybody in my office knows this. Everybody on the team knows this, that we don't compromise on quality and attention to detail. So marrying those two, marrying quality and attention to detail, and of course some skills and talent, will give you a final product that's quite good. And we don't skim on quality in ingredients. Sourcing the right ingredients farm to table when we can, bringing in the right ingredients at best premium quality when we must. Those things already give us it gives you a head start when you're working with the finest ingredients. You're kind of already in a good place. Marry that with some good talent and some good skill, and you're sure to make sure that you're being good. But the maintenance, again, maintenance is being honest and true to yourself and always understanding the value and the principles of what you're doing and what you set for yourself. And maintenance is difficult because when a company starts to succeed and you start to see the success in different ways, whether monetary or recognition, it's very easy to get caught up in all of that and forget that you're there because you have these values that you stuck by of being, trying to be the best, maintaining standards, keeping standards, raising standards, and that's why you're here. For me, I always, every single day, I'm reminded by what this company means to me, the values, the foundation, and what we're trying to do. And that does not let me ever sleep. I'm always on guard with making sure that we're keeping it. It's difficult because even with staff, sometimes they're kind of like, this one time we can do. I'm like, absolutely not. It's the same all the time. It's the same process, the same thing. All the time we maintain, quality like this. This is how we maintain, this is how you try and stay in the lead or try and be in the lead. And
Villa Grace has come really far. Do you understand? And you've done a good job.
I'll tell you about that in a second. I'm going to interrupt you for 2 seconds just to put the
yes,
the
please distract me.
So if you look at the butter now, you can see that it's got more of a golden finish now. The color is kind of, starting to get a bit golden and brown. And we're now going to put the lobster meat, which I have nicely cubed, in there. And let that lobster now just slowly cook. All that lobster meat. I seasoned the lobster meat with a bit of garlic, salt, Old Bay. Old Bay is good old seafood seasoning. And then a little bit of oregano, little bit. And so and black pepper. So that's what the lobster is seasoning with. And I'm gonna slowly cover that as well. So it doesn't dry up, it holds its moisture. I'm gonna take a clean spoon now, and I'm gonna put a bit of all-purpose seasoning in here. Because we're almost about to be done.
Okay.
So for all-purpose seasoning, you can always make your own blend of what you want.
Okay. I was going to ask how to make a blend.
You can make your own blend of what you want. You can have different dry herbs.
So you can have garlic, onions,
sauce, paprika. Yeah, you can do your own blend of what you think, what suits your palate of what you think an all-purpose seasoning might be for you.
Okay.
It's different for everybody. So you're free to do it your way and how you want to do it. And now that I put the all-purpose in there, I'm going to dump in a lot of fresh basil. Farm to table. This is locally grown. Shout out to Eli. He's a fantastic farmer. He has the best products for parsley and basil. So Eli, thank you. Made in Ghana, grown right down the street. Some fresh basil is gonna go in there. Okay, and we're gonna let that all cook down. Okay, to give us the beautiful Italian notes. I like basil, so I like to kind of overpack. Sorry. But I like basil. I enjoy the notes and the flavors that basil brings to a dish. So I particularly like basil. And then I will cover. It will have its final simmer right now, and then we'll bring in some fresh cream, pasta and lobster, and then voila, that'll be done.
You're making me think about creating music with green parsleys and, you know.
I'm glad that the pasta and lobster
Inspiration
and basil could inspire you.
Inspiration.
That's what it's
What kind of
all
music
about.
do you
It's
like? What
inspiring
kind of
each
music?
other.
I know what kind of music you like, but you need to tell people what kind of music you like.
I'm a bit of an old soul sometimes. So I like Eartha Kitt. I like Stan Getz and his jazz tunes. And then I also like Bach and Gounod and Beethoven. And, you know, I like a good mix. But then of course I also like Becca and Shatawale. And you know, you have to always bring it, also kind of give yourself some soul. You're one of my faves, Becca, and you know that. You know that I'm always kind of grooving and jamming at all times. You know that. Now this has now kind of all married slowly. So what I'm gonna do now is, I know I said I was gonna switch the fires here, but I won't. I'm gonna add in a little bit of fresh cooking cream. Okay? So we'll make like a little bit of a pink sauce.
Is that the same as heavy cream?
Yep, no cooking cream, well, heavy cooking cream.
Cooking cream.
Make sure you buy cooking cream, not whipping cream, because whipping cream is more for desserts and canapes and stuff.
Okay,
cooking cream is like heavy
cream.
cooking cream
That's true.
for soups and for sauces and stuff like that. So we're gonna get a nice little stir, and it'll be like a pink sauce. The color will kind of turn pink.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like so. If you get in there, you'll see. Beautiful, beautiful color. I'm gonna throw in the lobster. Ooh, nice good charred lobster. The lobster and the butter, the brown butter. Oh. So this is very comforting, guys. So don't make this every day, please, because it's not really, you know, it's not good for you. But it's very comforting food. It's a good treat for a Friday night, you know, if you're having some guests over to watch some movies, some good old red wine or white wine, probably white wine. I like a good Sauvignon Blanc. And
some bread.
Some nice bread with some garlic and butter on it.
Some garlic toast on there. Oh yeah.
Oh, Becca, I wish you could smell this. I wish you could smell this.
I'm jealous. I'm really jealous.
Take the same spoon. I'm gonna taste the sauce again, because the cream sometimes will lower the salt level. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's fine. It didn't. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It didn't. It did a little bit, but I'm not gonna put any extra sauce in there. You know why? Because cheese can be salty, and I'm gonna put some cheese in at the end. So the little pinch gap of salt that I have left, I'm gonna use some cheese to fill that salt gap. So it's perfect the way it is right now. I'm gonna let it simmer for, again, just about a minute. In that minute, if you have a question, I'll take a question, and then we'll come back, we'll finish up, and we'll dish.
Jela Duvi from Ghana. Of course, he's from where you're from. You can tell from the name. How important are starters? Do they necessarily have to be sugar-based or salt-based?
So to answer your question, it's about really knowing your audience and knowing what you think works for your audience. I don't think they're super important because there's a lot of people who don't eat them. So I always just say, listen, let's just do a couple of salads, more on the mains, because that's what people like, and then some desserts. But the whole canapé starter thing in Ghana, it's not really, you know, it's about knowing your audience. When I do it for my foreign clients, they absolutely appreciate it, and they definitely indulge in it. But they eat differently. They don't eat the way that Ghanaians and Africans eat. So it's different. I'm gonna go ahead now and finish this dish, Becca, because I didn't want the lobster to overcook, okay? What I'm gonna do now is bring in some penne pasta. I've cooked it a little under al dente because it will cook to al dente in this sauce. Okay, so it's a little hard still. Because it'll get some heat here, and then it'll get to that al dente level that we want it to be at. I'm gonna slowly stir it in. Very slowly. Just fold it in. The aromas. And I'm gonna throw in a bit more basil.
More basil.
I love basil. I'm gonna throw in some fresh parsley, same farm to table. Okay. And I'm also going to throw in some Parmesan cheese and some white cheddar cheese. This is like a real, like real soul comforting food, like real comforting. So a bit of cheddar cheese, good amount of cheddar cheese. Okay, we'll stir that in as well. You don't have to do some extra, you don't have to put the extra basil. I just really like basil, so with pasta, I love basil. So I always do a little bit more. So do it to what you think you like. If your kids don't like basil, don't put basil in there. And we're gonna do some fresh Parmesan cheese as well. Okay? No, not Parmesan, sorry, white cheddar. The Parmesan is already in there, white cheddar. And then we'll give it a stir. The pasta is also now getting some heat, so it's cooking. Oh. I'll take the question. But before that, get in here so you can see all the stringing happen. The cheese is starting to melt, and you can see all the stringy action. Ooh. Go ahead, Becca, go ahead. But you can get all, you see the string? All that cheese. Yeah, baby. And I'm gonna put the fire off, and I'm gonna dish. But I'll take that last question, Becca, while I do all of this.
So we have a question from Debbie in Community 19,
okay.
Which would be in Tema, right? And yeah. Debbie says, I would like to find out from Fred what the inspiration behind his food styling and setup is.
I'm inspired, Debbie, by so many things. I'm inspired by the things around me. I'm inspired by the places I go, the things I see. You know, all those things inspire me. But with the setup, Debbie, I'm also inspired by the client and the client's vision. Clients tend to tell me what they want, and based on what they tell me, I do what they want. So I listen to the client's inspiration, I add my own twist to it, and then I try and make sure I'm giving them something that's mind-blowing. Becca, the pasta is done. It's done. It's looking amazing. I'll show it to you.
That is so beautiful.
Really good. And it smells amazing.
And you know, this kind of meal, your kids are going to love it so much. Children love cheese and you know, with pasta, so it's good for the kids at home. Children at home at this time. It's good for, you know, that dinner with that loved one with a glass of wine, like you're saying. Yep. It's good for just sitting in front of your TV and watching some good movie and just, you know, feeding your soul with some good food. So I'm so excited, Fred. Like it's been amazing, honestly.
Thank you so much, Becca. I've really enjoyed this. It's been a beautiful session. I've enjoyed this thoroughly. MasterCard, thank you so much for this experience. It's really been enjoyable and mind-blowing. Let's do it again and again and again and again.
So Fred, thank you so much. I must say it's been amazing having you here on this episode of Priceless Questions with Becca. I want to encourage all Ghanaians to follow and watch this episode of MasterCard Priceless Questions on all social media platforms. It is MasterCard MEA. That is the same thing on Instagram and Twitter, MasterCard MEA. You can also watch us on Priceless.com. It's going to be on my handle, Becca Africa, and Viola Grace, which is Fred Apaloo's handle as well. Thank you all so much, Fred. You've been amazing.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you. I really enjoyed this. Again, MasterCard, thank you so much for the experience. It was fantastic. Loved being a part of it.
Yes,
and let's do it again sometime soon.
We must.